Should have got my coffee.
You're watching SKST Radio.
Well, welcome to another episode of SKST Radio, and we're kicking off our small business network, and I have a distant cousin, I believe, by the name of Ashley Grayson. Ashley, welcome to the show.
Woo! Cousin, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So Ashley is like a serial entrepreneur, and she has a lot going on. So we're going to learn from Ashley about Ashley. Tell us about yourself, girl.
Yes, so I am from Cleveland, Ohio. I am a serial entrepreneur. I have been a cosmetologist for over 10 years. Maybe I'm going to say 3 or 4 years, I have targeted towards being a healthy hair growth specialist because I see a lot of our women of color are going through hair issues for lack of product knowledge, improper hair use, improper products, just a whole mess. So I feel like we don't have a product for us by us. So I actually created Pretty Girl Products, which is actually a 6-piece hair care line. We have a strengthening shampoo and conditioner, a hydration line, which is a hydration shampoo conditioner, and a leave-in. We have a serum, and then we have our Pretty Potion hair oil that is for multi-purposes. You can use it to oil your scalp, your skin, use it for your weaves, wigs, whatever it is. I'm also a published author. I have 4 published books. 2 of them are autobiographies about me here in the city of Cleveland and the things that I have went through. So the first book is called I Could Have Been Her, the part 1. Part 2 is also called I Could Have Been Her. Part 2, The Tale of the Unbroken Woman. I have a self-awareness book, which is called Street Jewels, the trilogy, which breaks down 3 separate books inside of there, which is a self-love, a money and finance book, and a personal book. Then I have a sex I'm not going to say sex education, but it gives you a little sex education in the book. But it is a sex coloring book. So it's called Pretty's Quadruple X coloring book. So on there, that book is pretty much, I think in our culture, we don't get to learn about sex, and we don't have people that teach us about sex and what it is, and just overall of what you're supposed to do, what you're not supposed to do, the do's and the don'ts, what's acceptable for women and what is not acceptable for women. So all of that is covered in there, and then you have some coloring pages. So you and your mate can actually go through this book and, talk about some things that maybe you guys want to talk about, spice up your relationship, maybe even want to try and reenact the coloring pages. I don't know, but that's for you to figure out. And right now I'm also working on the 3rd part of I Could Have Been Her, which is called Beast Meets Beauty.
Okay.
So that will be done very shortly. I'm also a cranioprosthesis, so that is someone that gets paid to make wigs for people that have like cancer or alopecia or whatever the case may be, whatever type of hair loss, and their insurance pays for it. Let me see. I'm a life coach. So with me being a life coach, I've been through a lot of different things, and I've had to maneuver a lot of different things alone. So I had to guide myself. So what better else to give, firsthand survival experience to someone else so they don't have to go through those things.
Wow.
I'm also a serial crafter. So I craft, I make all types of things. I can create over 100 crafts. So I do t-shirts, pins, lighters, custom balloons, wrapping paper. I mean, anything that you could pretty much think about,
wow,
I can do. So hold on, I'm going to show you guys So this is, I was actually curling my hair before I got on here. So this is a bottle. This is our serum. One of the things that I told you that we have. So this is
Okay.
our lovely sleek serum, and this is also a thermal protected. So you get two for the price of what in one bottle. And no company gives you 8 ounces of pure, genuine serum. Okay, they may give
Okay.
you 8 ounces of some bull crap, but they're not gonna give it to you in a bottle that looks like this,
Mm-hmm.
and it is very good. You guys can Google me at exclusively yours, and yours is with a Z with Teak WIGTIQUE LLC, and you can check out our reviews and you can see all of the different things that we have going on.
Oh wow. Oh wow. So actually at the end of this, will you go back to our YouTube and add that information there so people can find you from the
Okay.
YouTube? Be wonderful. So okay, so what inspires you? You got all this stuff going on.
Trauma. So they say that the creative child is the child that saved himself. So with me, when I was a child, I went through a lot of trauma. I went through a lot of different things, from being molested to being abused to being left on my own. I didn't have a father, so I didn't have a man to protect me or even know what that would even look like. So, um, going through all of those different things, I had to learn how to create my own world. I had to learn how to create my own happiness because
Okay.
the life that I was living, I wasn't happy with it. So it started, just little. Like, I remember when I was 7, I wanted to write an autobiography. Like, I remember sitting in my room and saying, like, yeah, my name is Ashley Monique Grayson, and I was born with such and such, and da 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 da. And I'm just like, okay, well, I got a whole first page, and I'm just like, okay, so I ain't lived it. Like, I'm only 7. What am I doing? So, like, you only 7. You haven't did anything. Like, you haven't lived anywhere. So it's like I knew that was going to happen. But predominantly, I think a lot of it really just came from a lot of the things that I was dealing with as an adult. So, like, after I became a mom, life really just did like a whole 360. Like, every level in life you deal with drama, but
Yeah.
each time you elevate in life, drama becomes different, and it comes from different people, and it comes in different ways. So after I became a mom, it was just like, yeah, this is ghetto. This is probably one of the most ghetto things I've ever done in my life. And I said that to say because I had children with the wrong people, so they made my life a living hell. So
Mm-hmm.
I began to experience things that I had no idea about, or things that I wasn't even ready, or I thought I wasn't ready to deal with or even take on. So, in these last couple years, like, my creativity really kicked in because that's how I managed to deal with my anger.
Yeah.
So, when I get mad, I had to learn how to calm myself down, whether that was
Mm-hmm.
my anger from a situation that was just happening, or if it was anger I was harboring to, or if it was just a complication of anger. So I had to learn how to work on my anger because my anger was really, really bad. Like, it's still bad, but it's not as bad as it was.
Was.
So creating, being creative, that's what helped me. So what I'm sitting in right now is my craft room. So I actually, when times would get rough for me, I would find my way in here, and I would shut
Mm-hmm.
my door, and I would sit here, and I could sit in here for hours. Like, I could sit in here for 2 whole days and be okay and be content.
Mm-hmm.
And when I walk out of here, I'm perfectly fine. So, just to be able to create things, I have 2 sons, so they are very big on certain things. Like, they want puzzles and they want all these
Mm-hmm.
customized things. Well, I can do all that for them.
Right.
So, that's also a joy in it, as well as, making them happy, watching them, and they just like, mommy, what are you doing? Like, can you make me an eye mask? Like, my son sleep with custom eye masks. Like, what 8 and 3-year-olds, walking around, with some custom eye masks? Like, y'all not celebrity children, but in their mind, they think they is. So it's like, okay, whatever.
There you go.
So, just being creative has always been a part of me. just always been a thing for me.
So Ashley, now that you have your own hair line
Mhm.
and you're moving in the right direction, you have a clear path for you and your children. You have overcome one of the biggest, um, I want to say, traumatization in the world, being molested. Because a lot of people have been through that, including myself. And so, how do you forgive the person that did that to you to fix yourself?
Ooh, girl, that's hard
It is.
because as a child, like I said, so I was raised by my aunt. My aunt and her best friend raised me. So my aunt's son and her niece molested me. So I didn't get just molested by one person. I got molested by two people, and it was by the same sex and opposite sex. So dealing with that, my godmother, her daughter died, which was like the closest thing to me. Like we were like this. So my
Mhm.
sister got murdered when I was 4 and she was
Oh,
15.
wow.
So at 4, I'm dealing with being touched by two people. My sister just got murdered. I have no idea what's going on. I don't even know nothing about life and death. Like, ain't nobody had this conversation with me at 4. Like, you're gonna die one day. Like, ain't nobody said nothing like this to me.
Right.
Okay, I'm thinking everybody gonna be here forever. Like, I even had a chance to meet my great grandparents. So it was just like everybody gonna be here forever. Like I know they old, like
Right.
they old, but like I didn't think my sister was gonna leave me. So I look at it like this: God gave me a lot of love in the beginning of life, and I was very fragile. I mean, very, very fragile. Like you could holler at me and I'll cry. Like I was just so sensitive, and along the way, I had to remove some of these people had to get removed, whether they were for good or for bad, or they had to die to strengthen me up as a person. And losing these people so young and going through all of these things so young, I didn't have a choice for me. Now, I don't know about anybody else, but for me, I didn't have a choice but to become great. The thrive, the motivation of being great was always embedded in me. There
Mhm.
was nothing or no one that was going to deter me away from being great. Not even my own children.
Mhm.
Nothing or nobody was going to stop me. So I had to learn how to rebuild myself after these things. I had to learn how to control myself emotionally. That
Right.
was a big thing emotionally, because learning how to control yourself as a child emotionally is probably one of the hardest things that a person could ever teach themselves,
Right.
because it created a detachment for me. Like I have detachment issues. I don't hold on to anything. I will let you go real quick, because
Yeah.
I had to learn, okay, either I'm gonna hold on to something or I gotta let it go. And for me, if you causing me harm or you disturbing my peace, the little peace I did have at that time. So I had to learn everybody wasn't for me.
Right.
Just because you may say you my cousin, or you say you my father, or you say you these people, that don't mean that you're gonna fulfill that entitlement, that title. That don't mean that you're gonna be a dad. That don't mean that you're gonna be a cousin. You could be a friend, but be my cousin. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It doesn't make a difference.
Yeah.
And
Extended
that's something I had.
relationships are more important to me in my
That's what I'm
life.
saying.
Yeah.
I had to learn, just because this person said they were my cousin, I expected them to do cousin things, but that don't mean that they was my cousin.
Mhm.
So for me, it was just learning emotionally how to compose Ashley. How is Ashley going to maneuver through life with all of these what I call demons? Because all of these demons would eventually come to attack me at once.
Wow.
So as a child, I left. I used to live in a city called Hudson. It's like a suburb. So when I left Hudson, I left all of that there. I didn't tell anybody that I got touched. I didn't tell anybody what happened to me until I got 18 years old. So I'm harboring all of this on
All
top of
these
being
years.
abused, on top of being bullied in school, on top of being promiscuous, on top of misusing myself to young men while I was young because I didn't know what was going on with me. How was I supposed to deal with these things? Because I would have epiphanies of my cousins molesting me. And I'm just like, okay, maybe I'm tripping, maybe something wrong with me, and it was something I had to remember because I put it so far in the back of my mind that I did not ever want to realize that something happened to me until I became sexually active. Now that's when it really started to happen. Like that's when my demons started to really come out. Because when I became sexually active as a teenager, guys would want me to do certain things. It'll be just like touch them or whatever, and I'd be like, ugh. And then for a minute, I thought I was gay because I'm like, I don't want to touch that. Like, ugh, that's nasty. Like how the girl said off the wood, and he was like, hey, come on, let's do this. She like, that's nasty. That was me. Like, that's nasty. That's not gonna work. So I had to really I questioned my own sexuality because I didn't know what I was experiencing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when it really dawned on me, like, that boy touched you. We ain't got to the girl yet.
Right.
We dealt with that part of the whole situation. We just dealing with the guy here. So it's like, that really happened.
Wow.
So, and it was his form of molestation that it really created it created a barrier for me sexually. So that alone was just like, okay, we can't do this. Like, this is not going to happen. So for a long time, emotionally, I shut down. Like there was nothing that lived here. Like I was what my teacher called empathetic. I was probably one of the most heartless people that you could ever meet because I felt nothing. Like and just growing up, like I said, in the ward that I grew up in the time that I grew up in it, showing emotions would have got me killed.
Wow.
I wasn't your regular girl. I was in the streets. I was in the bus stop smoking weed with the boys. Like, I'm in the streets with the niggas. Like, I'm not out here in no skirt and no heels. No. For us, that was how whores got money. I wasn't one of those. I put me a pair of jogging pants on and a hat and a t-shirt, and I'm in the street. And we gonna figure out whatever it is that we needed to figure out. So that was my life. And part of my tomboyish ways came from me protecting myself. Because I didn't want anybody to look at me. Mm-hmm. I didn't want you to see me. Don't pay me any attention, because in my mind, the moment that somebody pay you some attention, that's when you're gonna really have to hurt somebody, because it's something about me that just draws people to me, and especially men, like they don't know how to control themselves. So for me, it was just like, I don't want nobody looking at me. Like, don't look at me, don't pay me no attention. Like, nah, don't even worry about her. So that really became a thing for me. So when I did dress like a girl, people be like, you look like that up under there? Like, oh, that's up under there. Because mind you, I'm in high school, I'm 150 pounds. I'm tall and slim. When I went to prom, everybody was like, that's up under all them clothes that you'll be wearing? Like, they couldn't believe it. Like, so, I learned that, okay, well, maybe I can, be a girl sometimes,
Absolutely.
Maybe I can. But it was still, I still wasn't ready to be soft yet. And that comes in time in itself, learning how to become soft after all of that trauma.
Yeah. Yeah. So Ashley, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about self-healing.
Okay. Gotcha.
Welcome back. You're tuned into SKST Radio Small Business Network with Cammie Grayson and Ashley Grayson. Woohoo! Okay, so Miss Ashley has walked us through a whole pathway of her life, and now we're summing it up. We're going to start talking about self healing and how she became so successful. So, Ashley, how did you overcome all that you went and you endured, and to become this beautiful lady that's sitting before me and the great mother of two kids?
So, I started my journey maybe when I was 15. But what really did it was 3 years ago, my ex fiance threw me and my two children out of the house. And um, I got attacked by my oldest son's father. And I ended up going to jail. And I had never been in jail before. And they charged me with domestic violence, burglary, and child neglect or something like that. So after that, they ended up letting me out of jail. And my oldest son's dad, he ended up going to press charges on me 2 weeks later. And I didn't know it. And because both of my sons were there when he attacked me, he told the police that I hit my son. So that's why they took me to jail. And that wasn't true. So after that, he went downtown. They end up calling 696 kids. So because he said that I hit him, they put a case on me. So now I have two cases. I have an adult case and I have a case with Children and Family Services. So now I have two men swearing up and down that I'm abusive and I'm all of these things. But nobody could find any proof anywhere. That where it's not a doctor's note. It was not enough. Like all they talked to was a gang of people that didn't like me. They never talked to anybody that liked me. So of course, when people don't like you, they're going to say the ungodliest things about you. Mm-hmm. So throughout that process, I had to. They took my children from me.
Oh wow!
No warning, no nothing. They just took my children from me, and I didn't see my kids for 6 months. And mentally, that destroyed me. That almost killed me.
I can imagine.
I had severe panic attacks. I had nights I couldn't even sleep. I went through the 7 stages of grief. I experienced that. Mm-hmm. It was horrible. So she, after all of that, they drug me to court. Now, mind you, I've been in and out of court for my oldest son since he was born, because his dad is just who he is. And this last time they drugged me through court. So out of a whole week, I was going to court maybe 2-3 times a week, whether that was for adult case and then I was going for a child case. So long story short, I had to take these classes. I had to take an invasive outpatient treatment because I smoked weed. So they told them that I smoked weed, which they did too. But they told them, and they put me in outpatient treatment. Then I had to take a domestic violence class, and then I had to take a parenting class. And at the time, I didn't understand why all of that was going on. And I told myself I didn't need it. But in reality, I did, because I was what I called a beautiful disaster. I had been on a decade of destruction. And I had been through so many different things that I never healed from anything. I never talked about anything. I never, got a chance to just say, I'm mad because you hurt my feelings or you did something to bother me. So I needed that time away from it because I had lost myself. I didn't even know who I was anymore. And going through that and experiencing that and watching people turn on you, watching people not be who they say they are, and just have people that just want to hate you because they want to, having people that just want your children, it was just crazy. But ultimately that experience really changed me because I had to become better. And not saying that I wasn't at the time, it was just uh, a lot of different things I had to work on for myself.
Right. We are always growing. We're always evolving. So yeah, it had to happen.
Yes.
Fast forward now, this entrepreneur, this serial entrepreneur,
So
looking
now
at
we're
your time
just
going, how you like me now? You know, so
well, I mean, listen, I've always been the boss. Now we've always been the boss lady, but now we're really the boss lady. So we are working on just becoming better. We're working on rebranding, introducing pretty girl products to you guys. We're going to be getting that out here very soon. We're going to have our website up and going. We're going to have the pretty potion oil ready for purchase. We're just going to be dropping a whole lot of Miss Grayson on you guys this year and moving
I
forward.
like
So
it.
be looking out.
All right, Ashley. So tell people how to get in touch with you again.
Okay, you guys can, like I said, check me out on IG. I have two pages. One is a hair page, one is a craft page. Craft page is pretty PrettyJai. Pretty J, which is our crafting page, the hair surgeon underscore, and that's DAHAI surgeon spelled the regular way, underscore at the end. Then, like I said, you can Google us exclusively yours, and yours is with a Z, Wigtique, Wigtique, or look for Pretty Girl Products. Check out our reviews. I'm looking to travel to teach people about education of hair. I'm looking to get out of Cleveland and just share my knowledge with the world. So if you lead a craft class, hair class, if you're looking to restore your hair, your life, whatever it is, just let me know.
Maybe we can grow DJT nice some hair on that bald head.
Hey, you know what? You never know. Look, I got some pretty potion oils for him. Look, you never know.
Well, my cuz, we're gonna keep in touch. We're gonna look each other up. All I
Yes.
need for you to do now is give me some words of wisdom. So if you had a person that went through a similar situation as yourself, what words of wisdom could you give them?
Never leave your destination without knowing where you're going, and never get to where you're going without understanding where you came from and why you where you at.
Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Booyah. Okay, guys, that concludes our show for today. Applause, applause to this beautiful young lady. And I hope to see you again. Stay in contact. Again,
Yes,
befriend
cousin.
us
Thank
on
you for
all of our
having
social
me.
media platforms. And you're going to be able to hear this again on Spotify and our Heart Radio. So I'll let you know. Okay,
All
guys,
right.
until next week.
All
Bye
right.
bye,
Thank
Ash.
you. Bye bye.